It's me, Renee. I'm back, and I'm here to do a wrap up of the Faceoff weekend, which happened just like this past weekend. So Faceoff weekend is when you read a lot of books instead of reading long books, because usually during a readathon, well, at least this readathon, you get points for reading long books for how many pages. But during Faceoff, it's all about just finishing books. It's all about just having finished books. So the amount of books, not how many pages there are. And I end up finishing 11 books, which I'm quite happy with. So let me tell you which books they were. The last one I finished was Nines Dagbok 3, which is, as you might have guessed, a Norwegian book. Well, it's originally Danish, but yeah, I read in Norwegian. I had thought that this was the last book, but a friend of mine said that there are 4 books. I just checked, so yeah, there are 4 books. So there's one more book out there. But yeah, I read the first one back in like 2005, I want to say, like because it was coming out like on a Bridget Jones lookalike trend, because it's kind of Bridget Jones, which is in Denmark. I read the first one then, and then I picked up the second one last year, and then now I have read the third one. No, sorry, I read the second one earlier this year. Yeah, earlier this year. Now I read the third one. So yeah, just have one more book to go. I would say I love the first and second book. This third book, I didn't really love as much. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe it had to do with me this being the last book during Face Off, so I read a lot. So that could have colored my view of it. I don't know, but yeah, I've read it anyway. So I read that. I started a Stephen Hawking biography, but I just get like a few pages into it, so I can't really. It didn't count, but I did start it. And then I read Gunnar's Rekordbok by Anders Totland. Again, Norwegian book. This is a Norwegian middle grade book. I very much enjoy Anders Totland's writing, and he has written both non-fiction for kids, but also fiction for adults. And yeah, so he writes for different age groups. And this one came out in March, and I've been curious to read it. Picked it up. I kind of feel a bit let down, because I kind of feel like maybe it was just me kind of misunderstanding, but I thought this was a book all about a guy who's going to break records, because the code book means breaking records, or like a book of records. And he wrote down different records, like it made up like the longest people can go without doing stuff, like kind of shaming his dad because his dad has kind of become a bit lazy and whatnot. And then I also had read the Guinness World Book of Records, so there are some records in there, but I would say it definitely could be more prevalent to like have it as the title. I did enjoy it. It wasn't what I went into thinking that it was. It was something different. So yeah. Then I read Serpent Shadow by Rick Ryan, which is the third in the Kane Chronicle series. So I got both the second and third, and I picked up this one thinking this was the second one, and then at the end I was like, this is wrapping up, and I realized, oh, it says here, it's the yeah, there, it's a third book. So yeah, I mean, I have read the whole trilogy before, but like I kind of went to reread the whole shebang in graphic book form, and now I feel like reading a third book and then pick up second book now. I'm not going to do that because that feels a bit weird. I suppose I can do it, but and I like also meant like to have both these for the readathon. Well, both for first face off. So yeah, that was maybe I'll use this for sizing prompts. I could do that maybe. I'll see it. But yeah, um, and yeah, as I said before, I'm not like 100% comic book girly. I'm not against it as a medium, but don't read all the time. And I would say, honestly, for this, I kind of feel like the books are better. I feel like for me, comic books, they're great when you have like beautiful art, when you kind of feel like you can tell a story better than you can by writing the words. But if the art isn't beautiful, it's like, mm, I suppose it's cool for people who are bad at reading, like if you have dyslexia and whatnot. But for me, yeah, I didn't love this. So yeah, but it's read. Got points for it. So yeah. Then I read Subwoofer, Best in Modern is Heaven. So if you're into Eurovision, you'll know that Subwoofer is the uh, Norwegian entry for 2023. I was 2022. Yeah, a few years ago. And they had like this mask, so it's like who's behind the mask, and they did like this whole deal where there's like they're aliens, and then after a year they like reveal themselves to be Ben Adams and Gert Olmerson, which like pretty soon you kind of got some hints at who they were because of people seeing them around when your subwoofer was rehearsing and stuff. And yeah, and then Ben Adams, one of the subwoofer duets people, decided to write a comic book for kids. And yeah, so I quite enjoy the first one, so I thought why not check out the second one? I would say I don't know, kind of like the first one better. I suppose that kind of often happens that the first one is better than the second one, but yeah, I did also enjoy this one. And it was a quick read, so like quick read is what you need for Face-Off. So yeah, and then I did also did some rest of these are what we want to do like this, and then yeah. And then I found a bunch of like quick reads, not comic books, but like books. So I'm gonna go into them now. We have Lightning Strike by Tanya Landman. This is a book that's, it's like 105 pages, so quick short book. Yep. This is all about striking in 1888 in London. Yeah, in London. So it's all about workers' rights and women's rights because it's a bunch of teenage women who decide to strike to get better working conditions. So I would say this is a great book if you want something quick to read. It's a great book to read if you haven't read much about like that time period. If you're a preteen who wants to read something historical, this is also a good way to pick up that. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It was a quick and good read. At the end, it kind of felt a bit kind of Christian preachy because like at the middle it's like, no, God's not helping me. At the end, it's like, oh, God did help me. Maybe God exists. I'm like, maybe this author is Christian. I don't know, but yeah, I did enjoy it. Then we have Earth Friends, Fair Fashion by Holly Webb. Again, it's kind of like a quick, quick read for teens, preteens, where it's not like a long book, and it's kind of like it's not like too complex words, but it's yeah. This is about a friend group, but also about they get a task from the teacher about like going to do a product about fair trade, and they end up doing fair trade fashion. And so it kind of looked into a bit into how business is done and how often when you buy used clothes or buy clothes, they're often made by people in factories who don't get paid in its awful conditions. So like fair trade is a big thing here. But it's not just about that, it's also about the friend group. And I also kind of liked how in friend group some of the characters kind of were inclusive of like people who were kind of a bit shy and didn't really want to or didn't dare to say hi, can I be included? So that they were kind of included in the friend group. And yeah, I did quite enjoy this book. Not impossible to read more for Holly Webb because she has some other books as well. And yeah. Then yeah, now I'm going to do these three. I also found Bleak House, A Tale of Two Cities, and Hard Times in these kids versions. So when you see they're like very thinner than original versions, and they also have pictures here and there. So I've been kind of wanting to read more Charles Dickens, and I thought, you know what? Why not pick up these children's easy reads version, and then I can like, because then after I read this, then I'll kind of know the story, and then afterwards I can pick up the original ones. Because I mean, slightly what is kind of scaring me with Charles Dickens is like they're huge books. It's like, uh, because I'm one of those people who get intimidated by like, oh, that book is so big, so many pages. Will I dare pick it up? So yeah. Bleak House, I do remember watching as a TV series in like 2007-8, and I quite enjoyed that. I didn't really remember that much about it, so yeah, it was kind of fun to get a refresher from here. And then Hard Times, I also enjoyed. And then A Tale of Two Cities, it was, yeah, enjoyable, all of them. I'm kind of curious, like how, because yeah, now, of course, like lots of the stuff that's in there probably, that well, lots of this is the thinner version than original ones, and I feel like the original one like will like have doesn't have like a lot of more plot lines, or do they just have a lot more like expansion of the scenes, or like how are the original ones compared to this ones? I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to read the original ones, at least one of them, during the latter half of this year. So yeah, and then then I did The Accidental President by Tom McLaughlin. So I found this accidentally on random on in the library, and I just like The Accidental President. I mean, that's such a cool title, and like, yes, definitely gonna get that one. Turns out it's the second in a series, but I feel like it's kind of like a companion series. And I don't really feel like I lost that much. Like the first thing is like in the first book, the friend of I'm lacking out. The friend of Ajay, his friend became prime minister in the UK because somehow that works. I don't know. And then in this book, he becomes the president in the US. So that's kind of wacky, like to have a president that's. I don't think it's even mentioned, but I feel like it's 12, 11 around that age. I don't feel like it's 14. I feel like it's more like 10, 9. It's 10, 11, 12. I feel like it's around that age. And yeah, it's just hijinks and funniness, but it's also kind of a funny reference to Donald Trump, which I quite enjoyed. But in this one, it's kind of he uh, kind of gets conquered, which in real life, sadly, he's not really. He's still relevant in the world and whatnot. But yeah, if you want a funny book, check out this book because yeah, I laughed so much. I'm definitely gonna check out the other books by this author. He has like the accidental prime minister, the accidental astronaut, and I believe the accidental secret agent. You know what? I'm gonna check here. The end. And it doesn't say here. The accidental billionaire, accidental Father Christmas, and yeah, and secret agent. So yeah, definitely gonna check out those other ones. And then last, I did next to last, I did Make Poetry Great Again by Chris Felt and Donald Trump. So it's someone who kind of did they fought they used all they used a lot of Chris a lot of Donald Trump's tweets, and then they kind of just put them in like a poetry forms, like they edited it about, so it kind of looks a bit poetic. So it's not like they wrote everything themselves; they just kind of edited around Donald Trump's words. And yeah, it's kind of interesting, really, read, and also quick because it's poems. And then completely last, I also did chaotic India, sorry, chaotic chaotic Egyptians, which is a book by Greg Jenner, who's a historian, public historian. So he's written a kids book, kids non-fiction book all about Egyptians or ancient Egypt. And yeah, I love ancient Egypt, and I love Greg Jenner. He has written some other books that I enjoy. Well, I read other books, but also he has a podcast, You Did to Me, which I love. And yeah, this one I also quite recommend, both if you have kids in your life, if you just want a quick, fun non-fiction about Egypt, ancient Egypt. I would say it is quite entertaining. And yeah, that's really. Up next, yeah, I have a plan what I'm gonna do for next leg, and I'm gonna tell you in another video. And yeah, if you did face off and had a good weekend, please tell me. If you just read, please also tell me that, like what you read this weekend. And I'll see you when I see you, which I think might be tomorrow because I have a video plan, video ID. So yeah, bye.